All right, let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is We in the Build-Up. So pretty much we're in the build-up. Pretty much you see all of the prophecies popping off, coming to pass, moving and building up, and this is what we're seeing. Right now, you brothers that have been paying attention know that situations out there in the Midwest, down in Texas, Mississippi, in those areas, are being hit with this extreme frigid cold. Shit is crazy down there. But these are all parts of the prophecies that would be happening. A brother just sent me a picture out of Houston, I believe it was, where if you want to buy a pack of Aquafina water, it's like $18.99. That's not including tax and and the price for each bottle, which is about 5 cents. Deposit. So things are heating up. They're getting they're building up. Everything is building up, and all this is leading to the end, to the destruction of this devil. Now I wrote down some random precepts, some from last night till today. They kind of popping up in my head, and then certain words popped in my head, and I just went to the concordance and looked up a couple of other precepts. So these precepts might not be in order, but I'm just going to read nevertheless, and Lord's will, the lesson will be edifying. The first precept I want to start off with is in the book of Sirach. And then after that, we'll go to Habakkuk, because I think that's a good, because what we're witnessing right now is pretty much is the tip of the iceberg. Although there's a lot of stuff going on, it's like the tip of the iceberg. The beginnings, of Jacob's trouble. So let's go here and let's read this precept and go on the spirit. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, and verse 32. It says, "Of a spark of fire, a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood." So the point that I want to get out of here, because this is dealing with spies, it's dealing with sinful men, and watching for the fall of the righteous. But what I want to get out of here is the point of a spark of fire, a heap of coals is kindled. And what we're seeing is these little sparks that you see going on as far as the prophecies are concerned. They're making the wood kindle. They're kindling the wood, so it's starting to spark a fire, but the fire starts very small, and then eventually it grows. So what we're seeing right now is we're seeing the roaring fire of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai starting to, take hold on the planet. And as we've said many times before, this what we're witnessing today is these are worldwide events, because the international bankers on the left-hand side, they're pushing their agenda, which is the New World Order. And the New World Order implies the whole world. We're talking about the whole world. We're not talking about, a little town, a little city, a little village, a state, a continent, a country. We're talking about the whole entire world, the whole entire planet. And from what I'm understanding, some of that those weather patterns that are going on, of course it's from the Lord on the left-hand side, but they're pushing the 6G out there, the 6G technology, which they haven't really fully implemented 5G, but they're moving into 6. So, there's a lot of underhanded stuff going on, but hey, the point is, of a spark of fire, a heap of coals is kindled. So whether the Lord is bringing the weather patterns naturally, or whether he's using Esau on the left-hand side and these nations to manipulate the weather through HARP and other techniques to push these weather patterns, is all of the Lord anyway. But this is Habakkuk 2:1. So it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. Now the watch is what? Watch as well as pray. You know, the tower is what? The tower is a representation of the prophets. You know, the tower would be where the watchman would be watching from, and his whole thing was to watch for the enemy coming so that he could blow the trumpet, because that is the job of a prophet. Let's go real quick to Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's the job of a prophet. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be warning the people of things that are coming. Now, for the most part, they're not going to accept it. They're not going to receive it, you know. But eventually what's going to happen is the things that we're saying, which are the prophecies of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Shai, are going to take hold of them. Just like when Yahweh Shai was on the scene and he came into the city and he wept and he said, if you only knew the things that belong unto your peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes. And eventually what happened? Let's say a good 30 some odd years into the future, 70 AD happened. You know, and that was a terrible, dark time for Jake. You know, you could say that was a time of Jacob's trouble in the Roman Empire. But it's nothing compared to what's going to happen here. You know, and you're starting to witness that. Pretty much what you see happening in Texas, you know, down in Houston mainly, and I'm not sure how far it extends out, is pretty much just like Venezuela. You know, these long ass lines, you know, just to go and get basic necessities. And these devils that's what scripture say, that the love of money is the root of all evil, because these devils that have the power and control over these goods, instead of sympathizing with the people, what do? They make it harder for the people by making things more expensive, knowing that people can't afford it as it is, but they're capitalizing on it. Supply and demand, cornering the market, you know. And Elder Apostle Tar just put up a video where this woman is crying because insulin was at $60 some odd, and prior to that was about $30 some. Then it went up to like $60 some, and she said she was crying because she had to pay $300 and some change for some insulin, and that was a deal based off of a coupon that she had. She said if she didn't have that coupon, it would have been like over $500. You know, so they're capitalizing on the needs of the people, and they're being merciless about it. But hey, the scriptures say they shall be as madmen, sparing none. They don't give a fuck about any of us. You know, excuse my Sanskrit, my Paleo Sanskrit. Anyways, Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And we know that the people as a whole are not rejoicing. The only ones that's rejoicing is very few, and those are the ones that are in power. But as a whole, the people are not rejoicing. The whole world is in mourning. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So that means that the people that are in power are the wicked, based off of the condition of the people today, which is what? They're in mourning. So Habakkuk 2:1, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And this is what we are supposed to do. When we're reproved, whenever we hear of something, find out anything, our job is to scream it out on the mountaintops, scream it out on the housetops, you know, make the videos, you know, give the warning, so that there could be no excuse. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So the vision was written back then, and it was written plain. upon the tables. We have the books today, that he may run that readeth it. Because those that are moved by this will get involved to see what can they do to be delivered. Like someone just did a video, I believe it was Amawan Gabar from the New York camp, a young up and coming elder. And he said that this young sister was asking how could she get right with the Most High. That's beautiful. Because that is the reaction, the right reaction, to the message. What can I do to get right with the Most High? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's beautiful. But for the most part, most people are not going to do that. Most Jakes are not going to do that. Most Jakes are just going to continue living their life until something drastic happens to them. Then when they're in a jam, then they're going to want to seek the Most High. As the scriptures say, I will go and return to my place until they acknowledge their offense. In their afflictions, they shall seek me early. But what happens? There's going to come a point where the Lord is not going to be readily available to extend his mercies. That's why it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Habakkuk 2:3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. So if the vision was for an appointed time, that means once that the time was up and the time crossed that threshold, then it was time to start making the prophecies come to pass and to be known. Not only is it written in the book, not only was it spoken about, but it's also coming to pass. So that's why the name of the lesson is We in the Build-Up. We see in the build-up, we see in everything happening. Like the brother gave a testimony. I didn't finish watching the whole thing. Brother out from Houston, I believe his name of his page is Future Kings. And he was pretty much saying how the people were losing it. And that's just a small instance. So just imagine when all hell breaks loose, and everything starts to really, the screws start to really tighten up. The belt starts to tighten up, Hey, it's going to get bad. We've been saying it's going to get bad through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We've been saying that for the longest. We've been saying it before YouTube. We've been saying it while we've been on YouTube, and those are just the facts. All right, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. So now at the end it's speaking. What's that? What does that mean? Everything is building up. And as each prophecy speaks, it continues to build that momentum until the end of the destruction. And I would like to say shalom. If any of the apostles are watching, shalom to them. Shalom to any of the elder bishops, if they may be watching, elders, camp leaders, Akim and Akwath. Shalom, shalom. So it says, but at the end it shall speak. See? So we're seeing it speaking right now. These things are building up. It takes a demented mind and it takes a real demon, to see somebody's misery and then know that they are in need of something. And instead of either giving it to them or selling it to them at the regular price, they hike that shit up to the point where you have to choose, do you want to buy water or do you want to buy bread? Like I said, the brother sent me a picture out in Houston of a pack of Aquafina water, $18.99. You can't make this shit up, man. That just show you that the people that are in power are some evil, wicked bastards, man. But at the same time, this is the fury of the Lord upon them to bring hell upon Jake too, because Jake ain't trying to get right. So it's a double-edged sword. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Yeah, because once things are built to a certain point, that's it. There's nothing else left. So we're at the point now where the prophecies are really starting to spill over. But it still hasn't cracked that threshold, but it's coming. It's coming. Now let's go from there to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. We're going to read a couple of verses from there. And like I said, I got just random precepts, that came to mind. We're going to go through them, and if I happen to catch anything catch my eye, you know, on the comment board, I'll bring it up. Let's see. Wow. Okay, I'm going to start here. Jeremiah 11:11. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Damn. Woo. Damn. Ecclesiastes 43:19. The hoarfrost also as salt he poureth on the earth, and being congealed it lieth on the top of sharp stakes. Okay. Where's this other one? Ecclesiastes 35:13. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. Yeah, and this is the time to cry out, you know. Ecclesiastes 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Yeah, because it even says in Proverbs that the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. So just imagine that they have no sentiment, they have no feelings. They're very apathetic. They have no soul, man. They have no compassion. Not an ounce. Let's see what else we got here. Verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. Let's see what else we got. Right. It says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. That's right. And shalom to the brother out there, you know, in Puerto Rico, Brother Samaka Muth. Yep, this is a good one too. 2 Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full houses shall suddenly be found empty. Yeah, because devastation and these situations, the crisis, you know, drives demand up. And this is what these devils are doing. They're taking this crisis situation and using it to further oppress the people. Jeremiah 30:14-15. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. Yep, that's right. They seek thee. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thy iniquity. And this is happening because of the iniquities of Jacob, and they refuse to repent. They refuse to get right. It says, why criest thou for thine affliction? Yeah, why are you crying for your affliction? Why are you even fixing your mouth to do these things? You know, it says, and then Micah said, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity. See, thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. And this is why it's happening. This is not by chance. This is not by choice. You know, these are surgical strikes. The Lord is bringing surgical strikes on Jake. Proverbs 1:26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. That's right. Let's see. Yep, this is a good one. And this is why it's happening, because you are not turning to the Lord. When you go to them churches and you call on Jesus, you're thinking about the so-called white man. You ain't thinking about the Most High. You ain't thinking about the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, as being a so-called black man, and his son, Yahweh Shai, as being a so-called black man. You're thinking about the so-called white man. Running to him for help, for refuge. Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto me. Yeah, because you're not looking unto the true shelter, the true help, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so verse 27 in Proverbs 1. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. All right, let's see what else we got. Psalms 11:6, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. Yes, because they're gonna get messed up, man. Let's see. All right, so let me get. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get this one here. Proverbs 1:24, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. That's right. So the Lord is going to jack you jakes up, man. All right, he going to get you. He going to get you, unless you repent and turn back to the Lord. Because as a brother put here, they're numbered to the sword. Isaiah 65:12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called you did not answer, when I spake you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes. And that's what you've done. All right, so right here, this is the rest of it. Damn, where the hell did it go? All right. Mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. That's right. All right, so let's get back to this. 2 Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. So we're seeing the signs passing. We're seeing the prophecy speaking. So that's the buildup. Everything we see, and it all works as a synergy. You got the financial collapses, people doing bad, then pumping more money into the economic soup, watering it down. Prices seeming like they're going up, but it's basically it's inflation, which could lead to hyperinflation. You're seeing people not having enough money to pay their bills, not having enough money to eat. You're seeing a lot of things happening that's going to cause a desperate mind state. And when you come to a desperate mind state, like Gerald Salente said, when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. And that's what's happening. So this whole thing that's been going on since March of last year, it's been going on for almost a year. It's pretty much a perfect crisis that these devils are using, which was manufactured to really help cement the solution. Which that solution would be what? The mark of the beast, the microchip. And that's pretty much what they're banking on. Because now that people are so desperate, now that everything is moving digitally, they have the people where they want them. Most people will be willing to just sell out and say, the hell with it. And take that chip, regardless of where it may be, in your hand, your leg, your back, your head, So it's all transitioning that way. So they have the people in a desperate state of mind, And people don't, when shit happens like that, they panic. They don't think of, let me make sure that I get something, but make sure that I can leave some for anybody else in case, they're in need also, as I am. No, that thing is all about being selfish. Those days of, looking out for your neighbor, loving thy neighbor, so to speak, that's out the window. The scriptures say, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So let's go on. It says, so when you see part of these signs happen, it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So now, how is the Lord visiting the world which he made? Let's go to Isaiah 28 first. And 2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. So you have angels that are causing these different events taking place, where there be earthquakes, where there be this cold front, because regardless of if it's Esau manipulating the elements, it's still the angels working for the Most High on the left-hand side. You see? And the Lord said that that's one of the ways he's visiting these people with storms and tempests, so on and so forth. So now let's go to the 29th chapter and the 6th verse. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai of hosts. With what? With thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. See, so these things are of the Lord. Now there's something, I believe it's in the Apocrypha, in the book of Ecclesiasticus, if I'm not mistaken, where the Lord pretty much uses all of these things to bring vengeance or something along those lines. I can't think of the exact wording. If I could look it up. But if any brother know what I'm talking about or speaking about, they can put it on the comment board. It would be greatly appreciated. You know, dealing with fire and ice and stuff like that, I believe, you know, used for the Most High's vengeance or something along those lines. But while we're waiting, let's go back to 2 Ezra chapter 9 and 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the visiting is coming also by way of famines, you know, by way of, you know, the joblessness, this financial corruption. You know, here we go. Beautiful. Brother got it. GMS Des Moines. And them comments are going pretty fast. The Spirit made me catch it. Ecclesiasticus 39:29. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. Woo! So what you see going on down, you know, in the Midwest, in those areas down there, wherever this whole storm is going, you know, this is, you know, the hand of the Lord. Now, regardless of if it's Esau doing it or not, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's the Most High doing it anyway. You know, and this is why these devils are proud, because they're thinking that they're, you know, making these power moves, but it's the Lord that's putting the Spirit on them to make those power moves. Amos 3 and 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? So whatever it may be, whether it's, as they say, so-called Mother Nature, which is no such thing, it's the Lord, the Most High, you know, or if it's a natural catastrophe or if it's a man-made catastrophe, it's all of the Lord anyway. Bottom line, because the Lord said he creates the evil. Beautiful. Right on time, the brother, as soon as it came to mind, he put it up. Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Yep, the brother Samak. It says, man's goings are of the Proverbs 20:24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can the man then understand his own way? That's right. The brother said, the black ice ain't nothing to play with. Yep, that's right. That's why you had that, 120 car pileup out there in Texas, I believe it was. And them trucks were coming and pow. I mean, there was nothing that could be done. You know, there was nothing. I mean, once they was rolling down the road and they hit the brakes, that was it. You know, there was nothing that they could do. You couldn't swerve out the way. You couldn't go into another lane. You couldn't go to the breakdown lane. It was just car piling up after car pile up after car pile up after car pile up. You know. So let's go back. So it says, verse 3, 2 Ezra 9 and 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And we see in that happening. And this has been happening even before this pandemic. You know, it's been happening even before that. Let me see, the brother from Mexico put up a scripture. Let's see what that says. Job 38:23. Saludos, which is salutations. 23. It says, I'm gonna read up above that. This is beautiful. Job 38:21. Knowest thou it because thou was then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of snow? Or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail? It says, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So pretty much this is, the Lord. This is the Lord's weaponry, man. He's opening up the armor of his weaponry out here. Regardless of Esau doing it with his heart program or his weather manipulation stuff that he has, doesn't matter. It's Yahweh Bashem Shai working on the left-hand side. So when we shall see the earthquakes and the upwards of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand, see, that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So now we in the buildup. Once it was quiet, little stuff kept happening here and there, but now it's coming more frequently. You know? And I forgot who said it. I was just listening to a video. Brother just said this. He said that, matter of fact, I believe it was that brother that did the video, Future King out there, the testimony of Houston. And he said that people wish they could hit the rewind button to go back to 2020, the good old days of 2020. And Elder Pastor said that. When 2021 comes, people are going to wish for the good old days of 2020. And if you know 2020, the year of prophecy, there was nothing good that really happened that year, except for the word of the Lord being propagated, taught, and coming to pass. So you know it's bad when you want to go back into another time that was bad. You know things are getting worse and things are really fucked up when you want to go back to days that were bad. Just not as bad as these times. See? Because I think 2020 was one of the worst times since the stock market crash back in 29. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So we're witnessing the end being manifest through this buildup of these prophecies. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. And we're seeing the effects and signs working. That is the buildup. That is the prophecy speaking. You know? And people are starting to wake up more and more to understand that the mark of the beast is the microchip. But for some reason, these teachers, these great researchers, you know, as they hold themselves to, you know, cannot fathom or cannot comprehend or cannot grasp the fact that the mark of the beast is the microchip, when everything is pointing to it. The elite want everybody chipped to be able to track them, to be able to control their buying, to be able to control everything about them. So this great thing that they're doing is not going to be mentioned in the scriptures? Come on, man. Somebody must have taken the bag or bags. Anyway, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby you have believed shall be preserved from the said perils, because perils are coming. Perilous times are coming. Brother just put that up a little while ago. You know? And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So the elect are straight. No matter what, the elect will make it through. Because the scripture say that this devil is so devious, so crafty, that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. This is how crafty this is going to be, because it's the Most High Yahweh working on the left-hand side. All right. So now, let's go from there to the book of Matthew 24. Read a couple of verses in Matthew 24. And 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And this happened during 70 AD. The temple was completely destroyed, dismantled. The only thing that's standing, really, is a part of the wall that Herod built, you know, when he rebuilt the temple. But the original temple was gone. You know, it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And this is where comprehending meaning of words in the original language plays a big role. Because this word world here, you're thinking about the whole entire world. But when you go and you examine that word world, it goes back to the word eon. And that word eon is an uninterrupted rule, or a period of time, a certain period of time, which is a representation of empires ruling for a certain period of time. Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined. Why are they determined? Because the Most High had set those times, those boundaries before. It says the number of his months are with thee. With who? With the Most High Yahweh. He's the one that, matter of fact, let's go from there to Psalms 75, and we'll go back to that. Psalm 75 and 6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. Excuse me. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So who is the one doing this? The Most High, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, so that men can know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Yeah, so this was appointed aforetime. Let's look up this word appointed. The word appointed is Aisha, is to do, to make, to fashion. Yep, accomplish. So the Lord already set the boundaries of this devil. He set the boundaries of time, and he set the boundaries of how far he's going to conquer. Go back in the history, the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medo Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, they ruled for a certain period of time, and their empire only expanded so far. Once it expanded to that point, when the boundaries were set, you ain't going no further than that. When your time is up, you ain't going no further than that. The Babylonians were given a 70-year period to rule. They ruled roughly around 66, 67 at that time, 66, 67 years. And then they were cut short. So we're at the point now where the Lord is, about to cut this devil's time short. So you're not going to be able to pass that. So that is what it means, the end of the world, meaning the end of this age. The end of these different empires ruling and the kingdom of heaven being established. As the brother Samak put up earlier, the book of Peter's, where we look for new heavens and a new earth. All right. So it says, and Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear what? Of wars and rumors of wars. So these are the commotions, the wars happening around the world, and the rumors of these wars. The hearsay, seeming like something's about to pop off, but it don't. But then you actually have actual skirmishes that are wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But what? But the end is not yet. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we're seeing that happening all throughout the world. All these are what? The beginning of sorrows. Because the main calamity that's really going to cement the end is Jacob's trouble, which is going to go hand in hand with the mark of the beast, the microchip. Once that happens, we're that much closer to the kingdom of heaven. After that, it's downhill to a certain degree. And that's a good scripture the brother put up to go hand in hand with what we read in Matthew 24. Oops, I got hit the wrong one. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's right. Brother put Japan 7.1 near Fukushima. Yep, 7.1 earthquake. Also, that's verdad. Yes. Like the brother said, if I believe this is if you don't overcome the strong, how could his kingdom go down in so many words? How can you take over a strong man and let's bind the strong man first, something like that in the New Testament. So, yep, this is another good one. Second Ezra 16:18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? That's right. Yeah. So this is where we're in the buildup, man. We're in the buildup. Now let's go from there. Let's see what else we got. I got something in Second Ezra's chapter 4. Let's go to chapter 4 and verse. Just go straight to the point. (37) By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times. See, and doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. And once they start moving, they're like that juggernaut. They continue to build. That energy continues to build, and it keeps moving towards the goal, the finish line. What is the finish line? The destruction of Esau and these kingdoms on the earth, and the ushering in of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's kingdom / Yasha Allah's kingdom. That's where we're at. The brother from Mexico said the volcano Etna in Italy, volcano Pacaya, and volcano of fire in Guatemala, a volcano in Indonesia are all active. Yeah. Well, that's beautiful. That's all a part of the prophecies. You know? All right, so now let's go from there to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3. Habakkuk chapter 3. And we're going to start at 1. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet upon Shigionoth. O Lord, I have heard thy speech. What is the speech? The prophecies. And was afraid. And this is why when the prophets saw these visions, they prayed to the Lord that they would find mercy in his sight in that day. Because once the Lord starts opening up, that's it, man. You either on the Most High's good list or you're on the shit list. If you're on the shit list, that's not a good place to be. Now I would suggest that try to find some type of way to be on the Most High's good side, because it's about to go down. It says, and was afraid, O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. Why? Because everything has a set time, and the Lord said he doesn't stir or move them until the set measure be fulfilled. So the prophet Habakkuk is asking the Lord to revive the works in the midst of the years. And we're at that time. And that's how we know that the end is near, because of the prophecies and how they're speaking. That's why this lesson is called We in the Build-Up. The build-up to what? To the destruction. Shalom to the brother from Italia, Italy. He said the Vatican has just put an obligation on the jab for those working in its premises. Yeah, there was just a video that was sent to me that this woman, she refused to take the jab and she lost her job at this restaurant. You know, and she was even saying that they were saying at first it wasn't mandatory, you know, and then when she refused because, you know, she wasn't sure about the vaccine and she was trying to get pregnant and whoop-de-whoop and this, that, the other. You know, they sent her a text and told her that she no longer had a job. So it's getting real. It says, in the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. See? So when all this hell starts coming down, remember mercy upon us, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, because it's going to get real. So now let's go from there to back to the Apocrypha, Wisdom of Solomon. The 11th chapter, I believe it is, right? Yep. And the 17th verse. It says, for thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form, wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions, or unknown wild beasts full of rage newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. You know, you got these they call them myths of the fire-breathing dragons. Well, that's all true. They call them myths, but they're actual. But the reason why people call it a myth is because they're not seen. But the Most High has those, has them hidden, just like He has Leviathan hidden. And Leviathan is going to be used for scourging this world. You know, mainly in the waters. It says, whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. This is the point here. Yea, and without these might they have fallen down with one blast, being persecuted of vengeance, and scattered abroad through the breath of thy power. But thou hast ordered all things in measure and number and weight. See, that's the point. That's why this is a buildup. You know, and you see the blocks coming together, the building blocks coming together and building up, you know, this destruction. So now let's go from there. Same book, Ecclesiasticus, or same in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 39. We're going to read the first verse and then we're going to jump around like the house of pain. Ecclesiasticus 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecies. Why? Because the prophecies are the main thing to usher in the end. See, this is what we're looking for to usher in the end of this age. So now let's jump down, which is the end of Esau's age. And when you look up the word end of the world, Esau's the end of the world, that goes back to the Latin seculi, which is synonymous with eon in the Greek, which is synonymous with Iwalam in the Hebrew, which means an age. You know, uninterrupted rule. So verse 16, it says, all the works of the Lord are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. And none may say, what is this? Wherefore is that? Yeah, because the Lord does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, at his pleasure. For at time convenient, they shall all be sought out. At his commandment, the water stood as an heap, and the words of his mouth, the receptacles of water. At the words of his mouth, the receptacles of water. At his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him, and none can hinder when he will save. See? So nothing can hinder. So we want these things to come because these are signs that the Lord is close, that he's coming to deliver us. And this is why it speaks about in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and the I started 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, meaning what? The elements that shall melt with fervent heat through the nuclear missiles and the lasers from the chariots. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So what should we be speaking about? We should be speaking about the end, this destruction, right? Looking for and hasting, see? Hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And the point of this, hastening for this to come, is because of this. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's what it's all about. So in order for that to come, this kingdom that's established has to fall, because two kings cannot sit on the same throne. Now I want to look up that word hasting. Let's see what that says. I'm pretty sure we looked it up before. Spudo, yep. Spudo. To haste, make haste, to desire earnestly. So when you look up the word haste, down here it says wait eagerly, to speed. That's right. And that's what the word spudo is, speed. Haste. Excessive speed or urgency of movement or action. Hurry. So we want this thing to hurry up. Anyone that doesn't want this place to hurry up and be destroyed, that means that they're comfortable here, and that means that they don't have a problem with the way things are running. They don't want this to change because they're a part of this. You know, that's what the scriptures say. If you were of the world would love his own. So now, Let's go from there. Let's see what else we got. Ecclesiasticus. Let's try Ecclesiasticus 31. Ecclesiasticus 31, and we're going to start at verse 1 and read a few verses. Try to see how many verses we could get through. And I'll end it on this one. Ecclesiasticus 31 and 1. Watching for rich... is this the right... Let me see. Nah, this can't be the right one. Nope, this isn't it. No, that's not it. Let's see. Let me see. Let me try 32. Let me see if this is it. Nope, that's not it either. Nope. If I can't find it, then I'll just read a couple of precepts off of the comment board, and Lord's will close the lesson out on that. Nah, I don't know. I wrote something down, but I guess I wrote it down wrong. I don't think it's the 3rd chapter. Let me try 3. Nah. Let me try one more thing. If not, we're moving on. Damn it. No. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. All right. Yeah, this is it. Ecclesiasticus 36 and 1. Have mercy upon us, O Lord, power of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Yeah. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. Right, because the Lord is going to open up, and they're going to know for sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Yahweh Bashem Shai is on our side. The power of the heavens are with us. As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. Yeah, because they're going to give respect and honor to the Lord. They're not going to be worshiping all that crap that they're worshiping now. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O Most High. Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. That's right. And who's on the right hand of the Most High? Yahweh Shai. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. And this is what we're waiting for, because as long as the enemy is in power, we can't rule. It says, it's supposed to be make the time short. Remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. See? Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Yeah, because it's time for these devils to go down. Smiting sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. Yeah, because they've been in power for so long that they've convinced themselves that they are the Most High, that they are the people of the Lord. But you're going down. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Yeah, because only the saints are going to be joyful in glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been what? In thy name. So if you're not coming in the name of the Lord, then you're a false prophet. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. See, because this is what, Lord's will, we be those men, the elect, the prophets, that we may be found faithful. It says, O Lord, hear thy prayer, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessing of Aaron over thy people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art the Lord, the eternal power. Why? Because, leave you with this last precept, back in the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, in the 14th verse, and it reads, For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, as the waters cover the sea. So everyone is going to know who Yahweh is, who Yahushai is, who they are. There ain't going to be no more, does God exist, or is his name Yahweh, is it Jehovah? I'm getting in that Elder Manat Zakbar spirit. Is his name Yahweh, his name Jehovah? What's his name? Nah, it's going to be known. And his son's name is going to be known that his name is Yahushai. It's not going to be no Jesus, no Christ, no Jesus, no, so I forget some of the other names that they call him, It's going to be known as, established as Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let's go to this last one. Zechariah 14:11. I believe it's 11 or 9. 9. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth, and that day shall there be one Lord, Yahweh, and his name one. Yeah, so there ain't going to be, all these different gods and all these different names that they call upon. It's going to be the name of Yahweh and his son Yahushai. Because the Most High alone is going to be exalted in that day. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 2 and 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai alone shall be exalted in that day. Because that's how he made his name famous the first time when he delivered us out of Egypt. That's when that name rung terror among the people. Now it's going to happen again. This is going to reintroduce the Most High Yahweh into the world again, and his son Yahushai into the world again. All right. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. And to the next time I say shalom, Tawada for all the comments, all the scriptures that your brothers put up, Tawada, and Lord's will, you've been edified. To the next time I say shalom.